He's a farmer, a sure provider, yeah. Now many underestimate him, they don't know. Them sight the fruit reach a supermarket and don't know how it grows.
Our search for practical sources of renewable energy locally has taken us to Hatfield, Manchester, where Nordy Smith has found an innovative way to power his pig farm.
Oh, you better remember the farmer.
From cute and cuddly piglets to big, powerful sows and boars, Nordy Smith's pig farm isn't just for providing pork for consumers. Nothing is wasted on this farm, as effluent from the pigsty is secured to produce gas for the Smith household and manure for his tomato farm.
I actually get methane gas from the effluent that comes from the piggery. That is what I produce by way of the biodigester. This biodigester is what traps the gas. So on a daily basis, you wash your pens into it, and it traps the gas. That is what it does.
Pig farms aren't usually the nicest smelling places. Hence, Mr. Smith tried to come up with an adequate way of controlling the stench. However, he stumbled upon something much more valuable.
Initially, I decided I was gonna just excavate and have a regular pit. But then what it was costing me, because my area here is extremely stony, I had to be blasting, cutting with compressor and that sort of thing. And then with a pit, I'd have to go have a cesspool truck to come and pull this stuff out over a period of time. So then I looked at it and said the best way to do it would be to put in a biodigester, because it self-cleans.
As organic wastes break down, whether on the ground, a compost heap, or landfill, they release methane. A biodigester is a waste management solution that traps methane as it is produced. By preventing methane from venting freely into the atmosphere, these systems can help reduce emissions that pollute the environment. Here we have a critical component of Mr. Smith's renewable energy setup, the biodigester, which is responsible for trapping and pumping the methane gas up to the house. Here we have evidence of the methane gas's production, where excess gas rises to the surface, causing the water to bubble.
This here is the biodigester. There you have a reservoir, and there you have your drying bed. Each day that you wash new stuff in, it displaces the old one. The old one comes off in about 90% liquid form, runs off onto the drying bed, where the water seeps through on the drying bed, and then you get the slurry settling on top of the drying bed there, and you skim that off, which you use for your planting.
Methane gas can be used for several purposes, but Nordy Smith uses it mostly for cooking.
Presently, I use it to operate a hot water heater and for a stove. I had a freezer that I used to use with it, but the freezer is down at present.
The farmer says switching from the usual liquid petroleum gas, LPG, to using methane gas in his kitchen required some adjustments. However, he points out that it was worth it.
You have to be mindful now that the equipment like a stove that would use a LPG gas, you would have to change the offices, because that comes under high pressure from the LPG, whereas this is at a lower pressure. So you have to drill your offices out a little so as to make them accommodate the methane. I use gas direct from the digester. Here you see on the digester, here you see that compensation tank. It pushes the gas up. So as you use gas, the compensation tank is what pushes the gas up to the house. In 9 years, I've never been out of gas. You burn gas 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, never out.
At any one point, Nordy Smith has some 200 pigs producing effluent for his biodigester. However, he points out that smaller farms can produce methane gas by using smaller biodigesters.
Back in the days, they used to make digesters as small as 10 cubic meters. And they do them in 20s, 30s, 50s, 100, up to 200 presently. So it's designed based on the size of your piggery.
The pig farmer admits that startup costs was a bit hefty, but it's a technology that undoubtedly pays for itself.
it has a high cost initially, but over a period of time it pays back. It depends on the size of the unit you are doing. That will determine the cost, and also the location you are, how easily you can excavate a hole to get the unit put in.
With ever-escalating oil and fertilizer prices, our local farming industry is definitely feeling the pinch. But Mr. Smith has ensured that irrespective of price increases, his profit margin is protected.
Nobody want to plant the corn. Everybody want to read the band. Who you are go blame it on when it's a next man you are depend on? Well, you're wrong. Nobody want to plant the corn.